I'm juggling buttons. I should know it by now. How are you doing, Wendy?
I'm really good. How are you? How's it been?
It's been so much fun, so fabulous. We've had such amazing guests. They've
Great.
been so generous, so giving. There's so many amazing pathways for people to develop their coaching business in positive ways. So it's been absolutely phenomenal. So, okay, you mentor female coaches, authors, speakers, service-based owners who are driven to make a global impact. And you're going to teach us how to amplify our impact and get freedom through your freedom formula, impact freedom formula, right?
It all starts to get a bit wordy, doesn't it? To be fair. Yeah.
So what are we talking about? What would you like to talk about, Wendy?
Okay.
How do we serve our amazing coaches in our audience today?
Yeah, brilliant. So I would like this to be an open discussion as much as possible between me and you and, the awesome coaches that are listening online. I have been running my business for 10 years online, so I've seen a lot of things come and go. So this is based on bringing all of that expertise together around my mindset, around my business acumen, and my love for digital and online speaking. So in my Amplify Freedom formula, there are 3 key steps that we need to look at. I'll quickly tell you what the 3 are, and then we can delve into each layer in a bit more depth. So the first one, ultimately, and is one that often gets missed, and Natasha, you'll love this, it's all around mindset. It's how we show up in the business and how we are able to deal with the information that's coming in and actually develop a growth mindset in our business for moving forward. So that's like the first cornerstone. The second cornerstone.
Actually, hold on. Let's just back it up a little bit, because one of the pieces I think we're missing that I think our audience knows about you is that you're actually living this freedom lifestyle.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So you have created freedom in your world. So you had to have the mindset to get you there. So let's talk about how A, you got there, B, what was involved in the mindset, and then let's come back to,
the other bits.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay. I think I'm rushing this.
Okay.
Let's slow it down.
Yeah, no, it's okay. Let's slow it down. Right. Okay. So I needed to have a business where I could service clients from anywhere. So I've always been online, and I took to online because I used to have panic attacks and anxiety attacks speaking on the stage. So I couldn't deal with that. So when I started speaking online, I found my place where I felt secure. I love talking like this, get me on a stage and I freak out. So in terms of mindset, to be able to deal with that challenge, I had to look at things very differently, because I could either go into that spiral of complete failure. I'm a failure, I can't make it work, this is a disaster, you know how it goes. All this mind chatter comes in and it becomes rather disempowering. So I started to learn to create a growth mindset, which was always about projecting myself into the future, being aware of, my behaviors, what was blocking me, what was keeping me stuck, which was predominantly based in the past, based on past experiences, and creating a more healthier mindset for me to be able to step into the next challenge. Having a challenge like a puzzle to solve, rather than it just being a complete failure, because that has a really negative effect on your energy, your self-esteem, your confidence, can take you out of the game basically. So I had to have a business I could reach clients anywhere. I had to work on my mindset in terms of, okay, what am I stepping into? What is it that I really want moving forward? Not necessarily in the here and now, but what am I always stepping into? What do I want to achieve? Rather than taking it from today or, you know, from my past experiences. So the growth mindset was actually the biggest part of selling, well, not selling, we didn't even sell everything, we gave everything away. Giving everything away and getting on that plane and yeah, traveling around. We've been location independent now for a couple of years. We're in Thailand currently. With the craziness of the world going on, we're just staying place. We're just staying still in one place.
Yeah, you're kind of like in the right place right now.
I know. We did very well to, yeah. So it was the mindset piece, because you know, there's a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety. Is it going to work? Am I still going to be able to find clients? But you have some of those feelings back home when you're working from home, but they amplify because you've got other things to think of when you are location independent. Like, when am I getting my visa? Where am I going to live? You know, what's the culture going to be like? How different is it going to be? So it's sort of, you have to be able to have strategies to unpick your thoughts constantly. So it's almost like being in the now, not being in the past, and constantly moving forward, constantly. Because there are always going to be little things in our personality that are going to just like sneak in and you don't even know they've snuck in. And then you're like, I've got that thought now, I've got to unpick it and reframe it and, you know, be able to move forward. And this is a lot of the work I do with my clients. It's about, hang on a minute, where's that, what you're telling me, where is that coming from? Where's the evidence from it? Let's reframe it, let's look at it a different way. So it frees up, you know, you can get hooked into a thought. I'm almost paralyzed on it. But how can we move you out of that to be able to see things differently, to get a shift, to be able to step beyond what it is that you're experiencing, or that belief it is that you currently believe to be true, because most of the time it's not true and it's based in the past rather than the future.
So you're not only making the choice to be location independent, so you don't even know what country you're going to end up in. So that's pretty darn courageous. And then you've got the piece of, you're looking at your own thinking, you're looking at your own emotional experience, and you're being with it while managing yourself and your states into the growth mindset and asking yourself, is this growth or is this fixed? Is this growth or is this fixed? And then managing yourself forward into a new way of seeing, believing, and approaching your world, so that you can have freedom internally to match the freedom that you're having externally.
It sounds easier than it is, yeah. But ideally, I mean, what I've come to the conclusion over the last couple of years is that life is an illusion based on what we believe to be true. And we have a choice when we are consciously aware, we have a choice where we want to play. So we can create new thoughts and new reality for ourselves. Or we can choose to stay with our belief system that we have now, which may not be serving us. Might be trying to keep us safe, although that can be a very painful place to be. But we have a choice, conscious decision, whether we want to play right, left, or in the middle. You know, I always think of past, you know, present and future. And if you can bring all three together, but still be moving forward and not paralyzed, you will get amazing shifts and be more content and a lot happier.
So how did you figure out which were the beliefs holding you back? Which were the ones that you needed to let go of? Which were the ones you wanted to keep?
A recent one has been, and I can't believe it's taken me so long to figure this out, was, why am I not getting this? Why am I not getting this? So what that did was it created a loop of, I'm a failure, I can't make this work. And behind that, when I started to dig behind that, that was based on a lot of negative experiences from the past, which had kept me in a place of fear. So once I unpinned it and I traced it back and I understood that actually, why can I not get that, was about fear of me fully stepping into what it is that I wanted to do. I didn't get any, then I got movement. Before that, I just kept saying, why am I not getting this? Why am I not getting this? I'm not stupid, I'm not thick. So again, I'm like, telling myself
you're having this entire conversation with yourself.
Yeah, recently. Yeah.
So how did you, because I mean, these beliefs are kind of invisible and they're a little bit sneaky, and they've embedded themselves into kind of your way of living. So it feels and seems natural. You know, how do you track them down?
I think whenever you get a what if, or, you know, for me, I was saying, why am I not getting this? Whenever you find yourself repeatedly doing something and getting the same results, there's that saying, isn't there? Do the same thing and get the same results. When you find yourself in that loop of, I'm trying, but nothing's changing. Okay, so what's going on? And unpicking that. What's going on? So I have a whole process that I go through, which is a bit woo-woo, to be honest. I'm not very woo-woo, I'm a little woo-woo, so it's a bit woo-woo for me. Yeah, a whole process that I have developed and I go through, which basically identifies the emotional triggers and some of the past experiences where I've created that belief, identifying that, acknowledging the pain and the trauma that's been associated with that, letting it go, and then creating what it is that we want, but also bringing, because for me, if you don't bring the child who's had those experiences and the woman who it is that I am now with my thoughts and my beliefs now, into the person, your higher self, I call her, if you don't align all three, you'll still stay stuck because those emotions and those needs haven't been fully addressed with your younger self. This is what I mean. I think it's called transactional analysis, is probably the
I think there are a lot of different terms for it, but I love your, you know, your past, present, future, but also, you know, younger self, you know, current self, higher self, you know, a lot of different ways to think about it. But I love that you're taking that expansive view of it. So so you started with mindset.
Yeah.
Is this part of your second step, or does that, or is that a separate process, or, you know, how are you working this?
Yeah, when they all, to me, that's the foundation. I have to understand where my client's coming from, what beliefs they're dealing with, how they believe the business is going to be successful, or in some cases unsuccessful, what belief systems they've got around that. So that's like the first stepping stone. The next stepping stone is, you know, and mindset is even money, the money piece. So we've got to look at the reality of what's really happening for that individual. But the next piece under that is the business strategy itself. It's about making sure that the business structure is set up in a way that fully expresses who that woman is. So it's about stepping into your message and owning it and not holding back. And it's building the business structure around that individual so they are able to work with their clients, serve them in the best way, and get the best results. And that ultimately, again, is about them showing up. It's about having a crystal clear message. It's about having a structure that is going to allow that person to express themselves within their business, but also is profitable, and they're not running around like a blue-ass fly, we say in the UK, going from one thing to the next and not really achieving anything. But most importantly, because results are ingrained in my value system, they're not getting the results for their clients. So that's the second step. It's about the structure. It's about the message, the offerings, and the selling, having the confidence to sell at a premium rather than the lower end.
So let's just spend a moment talking about that, because I think that is one of the biggest things that's getting in the way of coaches and really the full impact that they can have, which is this issue with if I am serving, if I'm supporting others, let's not do the icky money stuff. Let's not do the icky success stuff. I sometimes work with joint venture partners who, they'll have success in the, in the subject line, and, the coaches are like, no, not the success. No, not the money thing. No. Right. So let's talk about, the business side, the money side, the success side that coaches are trying to push away because they're uncomfortable with it. How do we heal that? How do we come to peace with it? How do we do exactly what you're saying, which is build the structures and the business strategy and show up and have that clear message and be at integrity and be authentic and be paid and have the living that you deserve to have because of the impact that you have with others and their lives?
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to base this on me because I think that's the most, I think people will be able to relate to it the most. So I come from this does have context. I've come from a broken family. I was brought up in care, had a horrendous childhood. So my relationship with money came from a place of lack. I didn't believe people would pay me. My self-esteem was really low. I had no confidence, And what happened for me was my personal value and my beliefs around money became completely entwined. So my story and my beliefs around money were like this. Now how I look at money is completely separately. So I think what happens for a lot of women in this space where they deeply care and want to help people is they get so intertwined into their own stories that they're not able to recognize that money and their own value and their self-worth are two totally different things. They're two totally different things. So our stories and what we believe to be true will determine our relationship with money. So it really is a case of tracing back, okay, where have those beliefs come from? And then acknowledging those and doing some of that work and creating a new money story so people can step into seeing money from a fresher perspective, a more real perspective, which is based in the here and now. Because money is the ultimate illusion, I think. Whatever you believe around money is true. If you believe people aren't going to pay you, they're not going to pay you. If you believe people are going to pay you, they will pay you. And I have gone from charging, $37 to a membership website to $5,000 to work with me. Well, it's actually more than that. It's $6,500 to work with me one-to-one. Same services, almost, different mindset, completely different mindset. And how I got my head around this was because I just didn't believe it to be true. I just found it really hard. And I had to step into selling a higher price service of $1,500, which is still very low for some people. That's like a starting point. And I was trying to sell this offer. And because we're in the online space, the people who said no, I was keeping an eye on them to see what they were up to. People were going on spas, going on holidays, buying other people's programs. Then I realized that actually the issue was me. And the issue was...
Okay, so Wendy,
yeah.
Not everyone would turn around and say, that issue might be me. So I have to acknowledge you, A, for looking at yourself, B, for having that courage, and, C, for asking that question. Because a lot of people would have said, would have started blaming the other folks. They would have, bitterness, what the heck. So that's really a massive move.
Yeah, I had a massive shift. Thank you, Natasha, for acknowledging that. I really appreciate it. Yeah, so from that point, I was just like, okay, there's something that I'm not doing here. And what it was is I hadn't expressed the value of what it is that I'd offered in such a way that that person said yes. That's the bit that was missing. And that's because every time that someone said no, it was buying into my story. So I was letting my story interfere with the sales process. When you're selling, when you're having a sales conversation, whether they can afford it or not is none of your business. You have to I've literally been in a sales conversation and in my head, I've been going, they're not going to afford it. They can't afford it. They're not going to pay. They're working with someone else. And I have to write down on my piece of paper in the call, shut up, Wendy. None of your business. Seriously,
I love that you're coaching yourself. I love that you're coaching yourself while you're doing this.
I'm like a crazy woman going, it's none of your business, Wendy, shut up. Because here's the thing, we want our clients to grow.
Yes.
And if we get engrossed in their story and we overemphasize with their story, we stop them from growing. We stop them from taking an opportunity that they could have that could help them move beyond where they are now. And if we let our personal stories interfere in that conversation, you can't do it. It's a clean space.
Yeah, we've got our stories about us, our stories about them, their stories about them, none of which are true.
And their stories, what they think about us. Yeah.
And their stories about what they think about us. It's, it's incredible that we do as well as we do.
It is. Because, a lot of our clients have very similar stories to us. So it's very easy to emphasize and then sort of make a judgment. We just do it. It's in our DNA. We just do it. So but you have to really step beyond that. You have to be able to give them freedom of choice to make their own decision, not you make their decision for them, which a lot of people do. They're like, they've already passed their own judgment onto the other person, which is really unfair, but it's very easy to do when you don't know how to sort of create that safe container.
So I love what you're saying here, because there's more nuance to it, which is you're passing the judgment on the other person. So what that means is you're shutting yourself down. So closing yourself off to them when you're in that judgment, but then you're also, if they've been attracted and magnetized to you and you've made the decision for them, and your body's kind of saying, no,
Yeah.
you know, doors closed, then you're also denying them the choice to work with you when they really believe that you'd be the person to take them there.
Yeah,
So you're not
absolutely.
stepping up to be the coach that they
You're not.
saw in you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that's what people don't realize. I think that's what people don't realize is that people who are attracted to you see what they want for themselves in you. And if you buckle at that last bit, okay, buckle's a bit of a, I don't know why I use the word buckle, but buckle, you know, you like wobble, might be a better choice of words.
Yeah,
If you wobble,
Felicia used a term earlier, which is retraction.
yeah,
But it's kind of like just a step back rather than leaning into, you know, what that relationship can be.
it's interesting you see that because I also see it as personal rejection of self.
Mm.
Because that that person is like has rejected that person based on their beliefs, but actually what they're doing is they're rejecting themselves and stopping themselves from fully stepping into what it is that they want to do, which is it comes back to the mindset piece right back at the beginning and why it's so important
Yeah, I think
to
what's
do the
really,
mindset
yeah,
piece.
what's really cool is, you know, we're stepping into that space right now,
Yeah,
embodying it to use it as a way of verbalizing what's happening in that coach-client relationship.
yeah,
So, I mean, I love this dance with you right now because if you know, just kind of read what's going on here, you're seeing it played out in a way to model it for you.
yeah.
So, I mean, superpowers, you are awesomely fun, by the way. All right. So that and what you're talking about is that awareness of self in that enrollment conversation and the pulling back, the stepping back, the judgment, the making a decision about the other person, standing in our own way because we think we know something that we actually don't about the
Yeah,
other person,
yeah.
and your self-coaching along the way.
Yeah. And I still do it. I still do it. You know, when you come from, you know, when you have a history or really strong beliefs, they don't just vanish. They might change shape or hit you in a different way, but you still have to manage them because it's part of your story, it's part of your personality, it's part of what you bring to the table is that knowledge and that expertise. You can't just like, some things you can get rid of forever, but some things you just can't. So it's about that growth mindset piece again, being able to manage your state during that, during the call, and even in your coaching sessions as well. It's like, don't lean too far into a story because you want to take people out of it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Not in it.
And
Don't in it with them.
right. And, you know, taking away the transformation that they came to you for.
Yeah.
I love this conversation. So, I think you said 3 things. What's number 3? Did we do
Yeah.
3?
So
Did I lose track?
no, it is 3. It is 3. It is, the last bit really is about, you know, you've got your mindset, you've got the foundation to the business, you've been running the business for some time. The next step really is about stepping into a business. So at the moment, you might be working as a solopreneur or an entrepreneur, however, whichever suits you. The next bit really is about looking at letting go of some tasks and doing everything yourself, because ultimately what you want to be doing is spending the time with your clients doing the work, because that's what you're good at. Everything else is just a distraction and is going to take you away from really taking the business to the next level. So This is where we look at systems, we look at streamlining the business. What can you hand over? What really needs to go? What do you need to focus in on? What systems can we put in place for you to outsource to a powerhouse team to take that next step? So that's the third layer.
So, Wendy, I would love to outsource my marketing, but I can't afford a marketing person. I would love to have a PA or a VA or an EA, but I can't afford to add anyone. I would love to have an accountant, but I can't let go of all my money stuff because I don't trust accountants. What do I do?
Yeah. Lots and lots of questions. It comes back to starting with the mindset piece again, but also looking at where the time and energy is going and really understanding where the leakage is and helping someone to see that they're using all this time and energy, which is costing them significantly, emotionally, financially, energetically. And then looking at which bits they're prepared to start systematizing, bringing somebody in. I mean, I did a piece of research last month, and from that piece of research, what I've decided to do is to create a service whereby I do the strategy with the individual, then I have my team, so I manage my team, and they do the marketing. We don't do accounts, but we do the marketing, we do the summits, we do the whatever it is that fits that individual. So there's two things. One is helping that individual to process and to streamline, to have the confidence to pass it over to somebody that they trust, because trust is a massive issue. Trust is a massive issue. Now, once they start that, they start to see how easy it is. Oh my God, this was easier than I thought. This isn't as painful as I thought it was going to be. It's given me an extra day back a week. Why did I not do this earlier? So it's just about initial baby steps to begin with, not the whole thing. Just let's start here, and then let's move forward with the next step, and then the next step, and then the next step.
So how do you help coaches to resolve that tension and that issue between, I want to let go of stuff, but I'm afraid I'm not going to make more income, and then I'm going to have to let go of the person, or that lack mentality?
Yeah, it's the mindset piece again, and it's coming back to that trusting yourself to be able to refocus, to have more sales conversations, to get more clients. Because I think there's a belief issue around, you're stuck here, which means there's a belief, a negative belief going out. There's a story playing out here. So what is that about? Is it about that you don't believe you can get more clients, that you don't believe that you're going to make more revenue? But also part of this, a big part of this for me, is about re-looking at the structure of the business and looking at what the price points are and what it is that they're selling and what it is that they can let go of. So it's coming at it from more of a holistic look at it, rather than just focusing in on the money, because the money is just the block. The money is just some story that's playing out, that's preventing somebody from moving forward, because it's not about the money. It's about what's underneath the money. What's underneath that? What's the belief associated with that?
The retraction again.
Yeah,
We're talking about that retraction in, however you want to call it, energy or behavior, or,
yeah,
signaling to others or the universe, or, whatever you believe, but that's
yeah,
pulling back on you. And in the pulling back on self, you're shutting down or blinding
yeah,
yourself to the options that counteract or contradict the belief.
yeah. You keep yourself stuck. You're in the loop. That's the loop. That is the
Stay
loop.
out of the loop. That's
Stay out of the
number
loop.
4.
Stay out of the loop. Yeah, that's basically what's going on. And that's all about control, you know, control, fear, it's not real. What's going on behind that? Because the money is just money. Because if that person's been doing well up to that point, you know, there's like for all of us, it's all a bit of a bumpy ride. There's something else going on. So what is that about? But generally, when people start to unpick that and they find somebody they can trust, that they can work with, it all just starts to fit into place. So that's the third step. It really is about re-looking at the business, refocusing, okay, checking back in, what is it that you really want to be doing? Is this how you want to be taking the business forward? How aligned is it? How aligned is it really?
Aligned with self. Yeah. Well, I love this conversation. I hope it was helpful for you guys to run through this. And, you know, I love your self-awareness, your transparency, your authenticity, Wendy, your, you know, just ability to look at yourself and then consciously with awareness push through what I think a lot of people resist and hide from and, you know, won't let themselves see.
I think there are two things that really sabotage women in business. One is self-esteem, self-belief, the whole belief system, and the other is their relationship with money. Those two things will take somebody completely out of the game. Completely out of the game. And I think someone else said it who you were speaking to, I can't remember who it was, but they said, you know, if you just want to do coaching and not run a business, that's fine. It's fine. It's okay to do that.
Jay said that. Yeah, Jay Facette said that. Yeah, his come from, and I love that, is, you know, just be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
It's okay. Just be honest with what you want to do and then choose.
Yeah. I think some of it is about making sure that we meet our own needs within the business. This is something that I'm starting to look at a bit more and explore a bit more. Is, you know, it's crazy times at the moment. It's about making sure that we also have our needs met as practitioners, as consultants as well. So if I want to amplify and make a much bigger impact in the world, and that's not necessarily happening the way I want it to, how else can I do that in a way that doesn't even have to be part of the business? So it's just about making sure those unmet needs are also taken care of in the business as well. But I mean, I'm just starting to explore that. That's a new one for me.
Yeah. And you know, I think it's that piece again about, you know, stop compromising on what it is you need. Stop saying I'll accept less.
Yeah.
And you know, I said this to a client at one point. It was like, you know, you've got kids, right? And she's like, yeah. And you know, when they were babies, you remember what that was like. Yeah. And if your baby's crying and they needed milk, you'd give them milk, right? Yeah. And you wouldn't think of holding anything back. You wouldn't say like, oh, you need, you know, I know you need that much, but I'm giving you that much, right? You wouldn't think of that. Never. Right? So why are you doing that with your business?
Yeah.
Because your business is like a baby. And your needs, you need to have your needs satisfied as well.
Love that.
So I absolutely love that you're saying, let's look at that. Let's not leave it unspoken, but let's be clear about it and honest about it and build a business that serves us. And it could be any kind of business you want. You know, you're in charge of the model. You're in charge of what it looks like. But be willing to take what you need and be clear with it. And you're getting some love here. Kelly says, I'm loving this. I'm a new coach, and this is such a great reminder to challenge my thinking around this. And Sandra's saying, very helpful, Wendy. Thank you so much. My money is a liar.
It is.
All right. I'm, getting lost with time again.
Yep, no worries.
All right. So my question of all of our speakers has been, you've got the box, and that's the coaching box, the coaching toolkit.
Yep.
What is the tool that every coach, if you had the magic wand, you would throw into that toolkit so every coach would have it?
Gosh, it's definitely the mindset piece. For me, it's been the money mindset piece that has made the biggest impact on my business. The biggest impact is my beliefs around money. So it's it would be about understanding your relationship with money and how that impacts.
Look at the beliefs and also look at the relationship.
Yeah, the beliefs and the relationship. And really going deep on that. And money at the end of the day, I heard someone else express it this way, and this is a really great way to look at money, is it's like a child. Money loves to play, it likes to be with other people, it likes to be saved, it likes to be spent, it likes to be given as gifts. It's like a child, it's childlike money. And I think when you step into that space of being able to let go of all that baggage and see money, the different aspects of money, and how loving it is and how nurturing it is, then you start to develop a different relationship with it. So it's coming at it from a fresh pair of eyes rather than, because everything else has just been dumped onto it.
I love how you said that.
Yeah, it's very empowering.
You're captivating. Okay. I love this. All right. So your money is like your little kid.
Yeah. Like
don't be abusive.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't, is money a lie, or is what we're telling ourselves about money lies? Because money can't lie, because money is money. It's got, it doesn't
It is
think.
what it is. Yeah.
It is what it is. Yeah. So what are the different personalities? Cash, savings, play with it.
I love that notion. We take it so seriously. It causes such anxiety and fear, and you frame it like that. It's a whole different relationship. It's like, money, come back here. You're out too late at night.
Yeah. Love your money. Love your money.
Yeah. And we're just past time. You have a gift for our wonderful audience of coaches.
Oh yeah, there's a couple. So there's the Six-Figure Success Secrets, which is how you can create a business. So this is like your signature in terms of what it is that you want to be known for, the results you're going to deliver on. People can get that as a PDF download. And then there is I'm doing a live training day. Well, 3 live sessions next week with Q&A, which I'm quite happy for people to join as well, which is around looking at your message and structuring the business so you get time back rather than feeling overwhelmed, having to hustle all the time.
You're giving time back to people.
Yeah.
I love that. That's fantastic. Thank you. And is that part of the regular, or is that the VIP?
That's the VIP.
Okay, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I love your generosity. Thank you.
Well, thank you for having me.
Oh, it's really been a treat. It's been a pleasure. I've just loved this conversation. And I think that you've got people going, hey, new mindset, aha moment. Wow, thinking about that one differently. So thank
Right.
you for that transformation.
It's been an absolute pleasure.
And you're getting thank yous in the chat.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining us.
So guys, Cameron's just put into the chat the link to Wendy's gift. And everybody's going, thank you, thank you, thank you. And Debbie's like, thank you, Wendy, from a fellow Brit.
Awesome. Hey! Hope you haven't got rain.
There's always rain over
I know.
there. Oh, that's awesome. Well, I hope it's
Thanks,
not like,
everybody.
yeah, it's like, if you're in the UK, it's like in the middle of the night for you. It's like, what is it? 3 in the morning or something? 2 in the
So
morning?
for me, it's not too bad, actually. I
Not
think
for
it's about 8
you.
o'clock now. Yeah, in the UK, it's going to be early morning. Yeah, it's 2 o'clock in
Yeah,
the morning. in
some of
England.
our
Yeah,
some
well
of our
done for
people have
staying
been,
up.
yeah, they've been absolutely amazing staying up till 3 in
Yeah,
the morning to catch everybody. And so it just shows you how committed the coaches are to
yeah,
showing up as their best, to learning, to they're just getting full benefit from, the amazing wisdom from speakers such as yourself. And I mean, that's how worlds are changed and transformation happens.
absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you
So
very much for putting this on. I know it's a big piece.
it's been a blast, and it's been just a treasure and a pleasure and a joy. So we'll
Awesome.
just end the recording here, and